Hey party people, I'm Kelly.
And I'm Bean.
And we're Kelly Beans Bees. We're third-year beekeepers here in Central Virginia, and today we are going through this hive out at the pumpkin patch. Look at all that brood. Looks good. So in our last video, we went through this nuke that was right here. We did go ahead and go through this hive. It just was pretty much resources. Nothing too exciting to see there. So we're checking this one. We are looking for queen cells. We are going to squish those.
Potentially. If we find...
Maybe, yeah.
So far we found mostly just queen cups. So it's the little cells that they built out but haven't actually put anything yet to make queens. And I found one queen cell, which the only difference between a queen cup and a queen cell is that there's something in a queen cell. But it was just an egg and it's only been one so far. So we want to make sure that this hive isn't creating queens and so far along that they've started capping their cells, or they've got old larvae that are in there, or anything like that. So if we find queen cups that just have an egg in them, then yes, I'm squishing them because I've already seen eggs in this hive. But if we see anything that's further along than that, we may end up just splitting this hive down to not risk swarming.
Yeah, I get them confused when I talk about them. But yeah, so let's see, what else are you seeing?
So far on this frame I have seen 2 queen cups. So again, nothing in them, just what they would make a queen in if they started making queens, but it doesn't seem like they put anything in it. It doesn't seem like they're making queens yet.
And sometimes they make them for practice too, right?
Yes, they will practice making queen cups. So queen cups doesn't always mean that they're going to swarm, but they do need queen cups to be able to make a queen, unless they are, if they don't have a queen, then they will make a queen out of just a random egg on the frame, but those queens normally aren't as strong because they weren't chosen to be queens. They don't quite have the room that they need to make a queen. So they, will most of the time use a queen cup if they're going to swarm, if they already have a queen in the hive. So going through and squishing them a little bit like I am just makes it so that the bees are slightly less likely to swarm, but it's not going to stop them swarming if they really want to swarm.
It's not 100% accuracy there.
They will keep trying to make more.
This is nice, pretty brood. New. And then when Bean turns it back, I'll show you some honey. On the very edges, those little like whiter patches that are capped, that underneath of it is honey. All of that yellow, bright yellow, is where it's called brood, where the babies are going to emerge from, hatch out of. So it looks good. When it's brighter like that, it means it's newer.
Yes. So essentially in this hive, I'm just looking through to make sure that they aren't going to swarm. I already know that this hive is good. They've got eggs, they've got resources. I'm happy with what I've seen. So if it were any other time of the year, I'd close the hive up now and say, all right, this hive's good, and move on.
But spring is the time of swarming.
Yes. So because of that, we need to make sure that we're doing our best to either prevent swarming or split them before they swarm. So essentially making a artificial swarm.
Yeah. Yep. So it is the end of April 2024, and yeah, you can see at the very bottom there, those ones that are bigger protruding cells popping out, those are all drone cells. So the boys, the hive only makes them if they're doing well, so that's good. Let's see what's next. Lots of brood, like almost the whole frame.
Yes, this hive has had a lot of brood so far up here. Which we do have a honey super on top of this hive, which you all haven't seen, to give them some extra space to store resources. Yeah. Because if they run out of room to store resources, that's one of the things that will push the hive to swarm. Because if they feel that they have used up all their space, then there's no reason to keep growing in this space because they've already filled it. So they will swarm to find new spaces to fill.
Yeah, the honey super's down here. We haven't been through it yet either, but it looks like there's some stuff in there. So we'll have to look. Maybe we'll look together.
So, I didn't see anything concerning up here. I'm going to go ahead down into the bottom box just to verify that nothing's going crazy down there. Probably I'll end up going through maybe 3, maybe 4 frames. And then if I don't see anything concerning, then we will close it on up and call it good.
Perfect. Hopefully you still have some smoke. Yeah. Do you want to do it or do you want me to? Look at those bees.
Thank you very much.
Welcome. All right. So we're digging into the bottom box on this hive out here at the pumpkin patch. I feel like before you know it, there's going to be pumpkins growing right out there. So you'll have to come get some pumpkins. So, yep. Today is like a warm 80. It's supposed to be like 85 today, I think.
I think so. It's
And
supposed to be really
week,
warm.
Yeah, this whole week is supposed to be warm. So we're looking forward to that. Probably take a cruise on our kayaks if, time and weather permit. So that'll be fun. Small hive beetle?
No, Varroa mite. Just climbing around in here. So that may mean that we need to
treat.
Yeah, check the mite levels and treat, because I've been wanting to treat, but I've been pushing it off until I split the hives, just because the treatment that we use, we can't have our honey supers on top, but I need to give these hives enough room this time of the year so that they don't swarm. So I've been figuring I can put the honey supers on now, giving them the room to build up, and then when I split them, I'm not going to have honey supers on anymore, so then I can go ahead and treat for Varroa mites. Is my plan, but yeah, if I'm seeing a mite on the top of the frame, then it could be a problem.
Yeah.
The hive seems to be doing well, though. I haven't seen any signs of disease or anything like that on any of these bees.
I think you have less cellums.
We're at least not so far along that, there's visual signs, which is a good thing, but that doesn't mean that we don't have problems with Varroa mites. Yeah. Even if we can't see it visually, that doesn't mean that
it isn't there.
It's all good. Right.
Yep.
So we are probably next week or so, I would say, gonna check these bees for their mite levels and see if it's kind of emergency mode. We really need to get these bees treated, or if it's just I saw a random Varroa mite, weird, but nothing that's a massive issue.
Yeah.
Right.
I'm just barely drawing this side. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
They've drawn this side a decent amount, but it's a little wonky. Mm-hmm. But I'll let them keep going. It's not too bad. They've just got some drone cells in the middle. Thank you very much.
Yep. Darn. I was going to say something about that. Oh, I was going to say that whatever treatment we were using, I think it's also temperature dependent too. So is it?
The one we're using is not.
Oh, okay. The other one I think is temperature dependent. So that was another hesitation of not to use it earlier.
Yes. In the fall we used ApiGuard on the colonies to treat for mites, and my plan is this spring to use ApiVar.
Yeah. Whoever created those, thanks for the very close naming there.
Yeah, I'm not super worried about this hive swarming. As I said, they've got some queen cups, and then anything that's a queen cell has only had an egg in it, so it's not like it's far along at all. They're not really, it doesn't seem like they're trying to swarm or anything, but overall this colony is looking really good. Mm-hmm. They've got some resources from what I've seen. They've got a lot of brood, so their population is just going to get bigger and bigger.
Yeah.
Which is good, because we just split out the other big hive that we had over here, so it would be nice to be able to pull some of the population from this hive and spread it into some of our splits.
Yeah. If you didn't catch our last video, we came out of the winter with only 2 hives full size here at the pumpkin patch, none from the turkey house, so we were just working with the 2 bigger hives that we had. We didn't purchase any bees this year. We have the last 2 years. So that's a little bit different, but we got bees.
We figure with 2 hives, we've got a lot of...
We have a lot more comb and stuff than we did before, for sure.
Yes, a lot of drawn frames.
Yeah.
And essentially that's the thing that was holding us back the last couple of years from splitting and getting a lot of bees was we continued to run out of drawn comb to split the bees onto.
Yeah.
So since we have that this year, we figure
We'll
we
hopefully
should
have
be
a
pretty
leg
good.
up. Yeah.
Yes, we should be good to go ahead and split the bees that we have and expand that way instead of buying bees. Because, you know, bees are expensive.
Yeah.
So if you don't have to buy bees, it's best not to.
True that, man.
Mm-hmm.
So we're up in the honey super now. That is the yellow comb, so it's a little bit harder to see, but there's stuff in there.
Yes, I don't know if you can see, but they are storing nectar in there. We'll see if we can find one where they've started capping, because our other big hive that we had out here, they were capping it. That you might be able to see a little bit better.
You can see the more golden, yellowy color. Yeah.
Yeah, so that's full of nectar.
Nice.
So the bees just need to finish dehydrating that, and then they will put wax over it, capping it, and then that'll be honey.
There we go. That tiny little bit there is capped. Cool.
Yep. But you can see how white the comb is up here. That's where they're drawing out all the comb. They're placing wax onto this foundation, and then they can actually use that to store their nectar.
Yep. So you're talking about giving space. The black part where they had not drawn out any, oh yeah, there's more. Drawn out any wax is not any space to them. They have to actually have the cells drawn to like think of it as space. So yeah, they're doing pretty well.
Mm-hmm. We have a few frames up here that are just full of nectar.
Yeah.
Some of them they're starting to cap, as you saw.
Yeah.
They're starting to work on drawing over here, it looks like. But yeah, that's what our super looks like. So
cool beans.
they're storing a bunch of honey up here, and this is honey up here that we should be able to take theoretically.
Oh yeah.
So once they actually get all of this capped and ready, then hopefully
it will be
we'll
ours.
Yeah. And then we'll have some more to sell at the farmer's market.
Yeah.
Last video at the end, we talked about the fact that we're going to be going to the farmer's market locally here where we live. So again, I will advertise this. May as well, right? If you're going to advertise anybody, it may as well be yourself.
Sure. You're your best advocate.
So on Saturdays from essentially
8:30-ish. Yeah, starting in May.
Yeah, starting in May, all the way through October, for most of the Saturdays, we will be out at the farmer's market. And
selling our goods.
Selling honey and lotion bars and lip balms and potentially some other stuff that we make out of wax, but we need to do a little bit of experimenting to get all that stuff right. Yeah. But right now we've got maybe 20 jars of honey left from last year that we'll start selling.
Yeah.
So
if you want some, make sure you get some.
Yes, but these bees seem like they're bringing in honey already, so that means that pretty soon we'll have some fresh 2024 honey.
Yeah.
So we'll be expanding our stock a little bit with that. So look forward to that. And, you know, again, if you're in the area, stop on by, say hi. I'm planning to, a couple weekends, bring out an observation hive with some of these bees in it. So if you want to see bees, like, in person.
Safely.
They're not going to be flying around. They'll be behind some plexiglass. But you can look, and you can potentially look for the queen while you're at it. So that'll be kind of cool. So just getting you excited for the summer, because we're already excited for the summer.
Yeah.
But this hive looking really good. They're not trying to swarm. They're still building up. They're storing a lot of resources, so I'm really happy with it. The other hives out here, we're still waiting to get queens back because that hive over there was trying to swarm, so we split them out. So we'll see how they go. Theoretically, we could have 5 hives out here. Theoretically, we could be down to 1. We'll see. That's just kind of how it works when you're splitting bees like that. But we gave queen cells to all the other hives, so hopefully in another week, some of them start to lay once they've gotten mated. But we will see, and you'll just have to stick around to find out what happens.
Yes, perfect. All right, we will see you guys on the next one. Thanks for joining us, and
bees out.
Bees out, y'all.